Good morning, everyone. I am Siti Jara A. Haji Muhammad, your presenter for today. So our topic is historical and sociological. Before we're going to start our lesson for today, I'll show you some pictures and you're gonna tell me what have you noticed. So let's start. So this is our first picture. So what can you say about this picture? Yes? Knowledge is for all. What else? Equality and equity. What else? Mayaman or mahirap ay pwede mag-aral. Yes, what else? Fairness. Okay. Ang lahat ng sagot niyo ay tama. So let's proceed to the next picture. So what can you say about these pictures? Yes? A school. What else? Yes? A child is eating healthy foods. Yes, what else? A child is playing. Yes, what else? Yes, there's an abuse. Everyone, your answers are all correct. And how can these pictures are related to our topic? As you can see, in the first slide, the picture is all about education is for all, and the next slide is those pictures are the children rights, mga karapatan ninyo. So now let's start our discussion.
Good morning, everyone. I will be your next presenter. I am Annalisa B. Abdul, and I am going to tackle about historical. So historical is relating to or concerned with the history, especially the study of the past. It involves examining events, people, and developments in the past to understand how they shape our present. So in historical as well as we know from the word history, that examines our past or past experiences, that also are that past experiences of us shapes our present. So from our next slide is about sociological. So what is sociological? This is relating to or concerned with the study of society, its structure, functioning, and its development. It examines social interaction, group, institution, and cultural patterns. So in sociological, this is relating to or concerned with our society or the study of our society or the person's interaction within the society and its cultural.
So class, let's proceed to our 3.1 discussion, which is the Convention on the Right of Child. The child, by reason of his physical and mental immaturity, need a special safeguard and care, including appropriate legal protection before as well as after birth. So, which means children need special protection because they not fully grow up yet, both physically and mentally. They need extra help and care even before they born. This includes law to keep them safe and have a protection. So let's proceed to our next slide, which is the 3 P's of Convention on the Right of Children. Number 1 is prevention, includes the right to possess, receive, or have access to certain resources and services. Prevention is the action of providing or supplying something to use, which means let's give the right or get something they need, the need of children, like food, shelter, healthcare, and education. They should have access to school. So number 2 is protection. The right to be shielded from certain acts and practices, social and individual misuse. It is close to parenting, which means the children have the right to be safe from harmful action and behavior, both from society as a whole and from individuals. Parents is the primary protector of the child's safety. We have examples here. The child got bullied in school, and this is a form of misuse. Child needs protection from bullying, and school take action on it to stop the bullying, and parent will support their child emotionally. So the number 3 is participation rights to do things, express oneself, have an effective voice as an individual child and as a large group. So right to do things it include having freedom or opportunity to participate in activities, playing, learn, and to explore. One of example is Save the Grace o napapanood siya sa ABS-CBN, which is si Grace ay bata pa but then naging witness siya sa isang case which we can ignore child's feelings because bata lang sila. The child should express their feelings, perspective, and heard their voice.
So in our 3.2 UNESCO United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, this is to seek build peace through international cooperation in education, sciences, and culture. It develops educational tool to help people as a global citizens free of hate and intolerance. It works so that each child and citizens has a right access to a quality education. So in UNESCO, this is to seek build peace through international that a child and citizens have the right to education without hate and intolerance. One of the example is yung mga marginalized na places where kahit na nasa bundok sila, they can still have an access to education. And also yung mga taong mga matatanda na nag-aaral pa rin. They have the right to access in education without hate and intolerance.
So now let's proceed to 3.3, the Education for All, or AFA, a global movement led by UNESCO aiming to meet the learning needs of all children, youth, and adults by 2015. Yes, the UNESCO have 17 goals, which is the goal number 4 is the quality education. So they aims to meet the learning needs of the youth and adult by 2015. The initiative include provision to ensure all Filipinos were able to achieve what UNESCO calls functional literacy. So functional literacy is the ability to read, write, and do calculation at the level that is sufficient for the country in which a particular person lives. So we have the goals of EFA, the Education for All. Number 1 is expand and improve comprehensive early childhood care and education, which means increasing access to and enhancing the quality of early childhood program that support the learning, health, and overall well-being of young children. So number 2 is children have access to and complete free and compulsory primary education of good quality, which means that all children, regardless of their background, should be able to enroll in and finish primary school without financial barriers. It also emphasized that the education they receive should be effective, inclusive, and beneficiary for their future learning and development. So number 3 is equitable access to appropriate learning and life skill programs, which means that all individuals, regardless of their background, gender, disability, or socio-economic status, have fair opportunities to participate in education and training programs that equip them with relevant knowledge and skills for daily life and future careers. Number 4 goals is the equitable access to basic and continuing education for adults. Means that all adults, regardless of their age, gender, socioeconomic background, or disability, should have fair opportunities to access education. 5 goal is to achieve gender equality in education, means ensuring all individuals, regardless of their gender, have equal opportunities to access, participate in, and complete education at all levels. It involves removing barriers that prevent girls or boys from receiving quality education, such as cultural biases, financial constraint, early marriage, or discrimination. So our last goal is improve the quality of education and ensure excellence for all. Means enhancing the standard of teaching, learning materials, school infrastructure, and overall education experience to ensure that every student, regardless of their background, receive a high quality education. It also emphasizes the importance of fostering excellence so that all learners or students reach their full potential. So that's all.
So now let's proceed to the 3.4 inclusion policy, where the core principles of the K-12 is to promote institutional sensitivity and responsiveness, nature, situation, realities of the learner. So the K-12 inclusion policy emphasized that the institutional sensitivity and responsiveness to the individual's learner's unique circumstances and backgrounds and needs. So now let's proceed to the K dimension, a learner. Someone, especially a child who learns or takes up something or takes up knowledge or beliefs from his assimilator or teacher, or sometimes a scholar. So the K-12 curriculum covers the kindergarten to 12 years primary and secondary education. That was 13 years basic education that was implemented by the Philippines. So one of its goals was to provide sufficient time for mastery and concepts and skills. So one of their aims was to prepare graduate students for tertiary education and middle level skills, development, employment, and entrepreneurship. So before we finish our grade 10, we will having this senior high school, which is the grade 11 and grade 12, that there's a track that you can choose, and on those track there's a lot of courses that they are availing. So now let's move on to our next K dimension, which is the development and learning resources. Pag sinabi nating resources, ito ay ang mga bagay na mapagkukunan o mga other options. One of the examples is library, that if you want to research about something tapos yung book na yun ay hindi available sa library, may iba pang paraan na mapagkukunan ng ibang resource or kaalaman, tulad ng mga online platform sa Google or AI. Now let's move to our next key dimension, which is the learning delivery. So learning delivery refers to the methods and strategies used to present and facilitate learning experiences for individual groups. It encompasses in which knowledge and skills and information were shared and absorbed by the learners. So delivery learning is the strategy or use or methods that used by the teachers to attain a goal, or if she or he was attain his goal in teaching. So now let's move to our next key dimension, which is the educational assessment. Educational assessment is a systematic process of gathering and interpreting information about students. It involves using various methods to measure students' knowledge, skills, attitude, and beliefs, and then using that information to improve teaching and learning. Isa sa mga halimbawa, ang isang guro ay magbibigay ng pagsusulit sa Pilipino. Siya ay maaaring gumamit ng pamamaraan katulad ng multiple choice, alternative response, o essay. So now let's move to our next key dimension, which is the learning environment. A learning environment is a space both physical and virtual where learning takes place. It encompasses all factors that influence how students learn. So a learning environment is a place where learners are being taught. It could be a virtual or physical. Isa sa mga halimbawa ng physical ay ang pagtuturo sa paaralan, habang ang virtual naman ay pagtuturo online katulad ng Google Meet at Google Classroom. So now let's move to our next key dimension, which is the teacher professional development. Teacher professional development refers to the ongoing learning and training that teachers engage in to enhance their skills, knowledge, and practices. It's a crucial element in ensuring high quality education for all students. So, teacher professional development is an ongoing learning of a teacher where they learn something and where they gain knowledge. Because as a teacher, we also learn. We also still learning. So one of the examples is seminar where teachers are gaining knowledge and to enhance and ensure their development, skills, and practices. So let's move to our last key dimension, which is the school leadership and management. School leadership and management are two intertwined aspects of running successful educational institution. While they share the same common goals, they differ in their focus and approach. One of the examples is a school wanted to implement the using of technology. The principal will implement some strategy in vision and empower his teacher to take the ownership of this program and encourage them to share their ideas